This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, discounted prices, miniaturemarket.com.
Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Empires have risen and fallen in the aftermath of the Great War, and Europa stands on the precipice of a new era. The economy is robust, morale is high, and defenses are strong. Now there's reports from the countryside of strange soldiers with glowing eyes, but they seem distant and harmless. Today we're going to take a non-spoiler look at Scythe, the Rise of Fenris by Stonemaier Games, which is being called the Final Expansion. This enables two different options, 1 to 5 players if you have the Scythe base game, and 1 to 7 players if you have the Invaders from Afar expansion. Now one way to experience this expansion is through an 8-game campaign, where the story of Scythe both continues and concludes. Now while the campaign includes surprises, unlocks, and persistent elements, it is fully resettable and replayable. Now instead of or after the campaign, there's 11 modules that can be used in various combinations to cater to player preferences. Now these modules are compatible with all Scythe expansions, and they include a fully cooperative module that's not part of the competitive campaign. Now today, I'm going to give you just a non-spoiler overview and look and peek at what's in the box and how you would go about playing this expansion in either or both modes, and then I'll see you on the other side. Now, as I mentioned in the intro, I'm not going to be spoiling anything in this game, meaning I'm not going to be opening up any of the packs or doing anything that you shouldn't see, but I'm going to show you some general things and tell you sort of how it works in general. If you don't want to know anything about the game, you shouldn't be watching this part of the overview. Now, there is a 51-page spiral-bound guide that gives you the general overall rules, how to use it as a campaign, how to use it as modules, and how the different episodes work in detail. Now there's also 6 different punch boards, which all have spoilers on them. You don't want to see them. They have pieces of paper on them so that you don't have to look at them if you don't want to. You can simply take those out and you only use those when instructed to do so. And once you get towards the bottom of the box, it has all the different little tuck boxes that you have there, A through E, and these are the ones that you'll be opening up only when you're instructed to do so. It has all the information for the different episodes and modules that will come out throughout the game. And as you can see, some of these little tuck boxes have that unbelievable art on it that Scythe is known for. I'm going to first talk about the campaign and then the separate modules towards the end. Now when you're starting a campaign, players will each use a specific faction mat, and they will keep this faction mat throughout the campaign until told otherwise, possibly, and then they also get a player mat, and just like normal Scythe, these will be randomly selected every episode. Now each player is going to get a campaign log. Now there's actually 21 sheets on here, so it's good enough to play a full complement of 7 players through 3 total campaigns. You'd write your faction in here. Anytime you win a specific episode, you'll put a check mark here. Certain rewards might allow you to get some certain setup bonuses. Now throughout the game, your wealth's going to be tracked here. Now as you go through episode to episode, it's going to be tracked, and in between episodes, you'll be able to spend some of that money on certain things like perks, where you can get a one-time, once per campaign, you can check one of these off and get a one-time bonus of these during setup. There's also a triumph log where as you put your stars out on the certain objectives, at the end of the campaign, any one of these full rows that is completed or any column is going to get you $25 towards your final campaign score. There's also ways to get modifications for both mechs and infrastructures. Now the campaign is fully replayable and resettable. Now the ideal experience is to play with the same number of players throughout the campaign, although it's not required. You can fluctuate player counts, and you can do that by, if you want to add a player mid-campaign, you can let them select an unused faction, and then you give them basically an equitable status on their campaign log comparable to other players. If you want to temporarily drop a player mid-campaign, you can set aside all their accumulated tokens and their campaign log until they come back. And if you can actually permanently drop a player mid-campaign, you just return their faction mat and any accumulated tokens, and obviously you wouldn't use their log anymore. Now between different episodes, certain people might have things that might carry over between episodes, and they give you a lot of these different plastic bags in order to hold things over between sessions. There's actually a couple dice included in the game, and they'll do different things depending on certain episodes and outcomes. The winner of the campaign will be the winner of the final episode, but it's a culmination of all the episodes building up, because in between each episode you'll be gathering wealth and you'll be spending that to enhance your faction, leading up to a final big climax at the end. Whoever wins that one has the most money will win. And of course there's an achievement sheet here. The first winners of each episode, is my second campaign, third campaign, and the first winners of the entire campaign depending on their faction. On the other side they have this similar type of thing, but for the modules, but I'm not going to show you that because it has some of the names of the modules. I don't want to give some of those away. Now, the Automa solo rules are in this specific guide, and each of the episodes actually have specific rules if you're planning on using the Automa. And the guide has a full 6-page backstory that you can read before you start to get you into what's going on. Now, for each episode, it's going to have a title, it's going to have a story that's in sort of paragraph form. There'll also be a story summary where if you don't want to read the whole backstory of that episode, you could just read the summary that really impacts everything. It'll tell you how to set up, there'll be some possibly special rules, there'll be specific goals for that episode, and some episodes are going to have some rewards or outcomes that you don't look at until after it's over, and things will happen depending on what people did during that game. So in general, that's how the campaign works. Now, what about those modules? Well, there's 2 different times you'd really want to use the modules. Either after you've completed the 8-game campaign, you could start using the modules that you've played through in different ways that you see fit, or you can skip the campaign and just use the modular expansion. Now, if you do that, in the guide, it shows you the name of the modules, a location of where the rules it talks about it, what you're going to use, and the recommended uses of when you want to use this module with what types of players, what does it do to the game. Of course, I've blurred it all out here because I don't want you to see anything, but that's pretty much it between the modules and the campaign of the Rise of Fenris. Well, I hope this gave you a better understanding of how this expansion works, and that you're even more excited about it now than you were before you watched this video. Now, it's currently slated to hit retail on August 17th. However, there's plenty of ways to pre-order it and get it early. Now, I've placed a link in this video to Stonemaier Games' website where you can pre-order the game directly from them. Now, if you do that and you become a Stonemaier champion, you'll get free shipping and a special discount. Now, being a champion is an annual subscription, but it gives you a subscription to a monthly digest, unlimited free shipping to the United States, and advanced delivery, as well as special discounts. Now, also, this method of pre-ordering is only available for a very limited time from when this video launches, but you can also pre-order it for a Gen Con pickup thanks to MapleSource, and you can also pre-order it from retailers, and the Stonemaier Games website has a list of retailers that are participating in this. And finally, you can always pre-order it through my sponsor, Miniature Market, and I'll place a link below me in the description of this video to bring you to that page as well. Well, I plan on doing a full review of this expansion once I've had a chance to sort of play through the entire campaign, and then also playing that cooperative module. But until then, this has been the Game Boy Geek, helping you find and enjoy the next board game you'll love.
This video was sponsored by Miniature Market's Review Corner. The Review Corner features podcasts, video, and written game reviews by gamers for gamers. Miniature Market, the online gaming superstore. Thousands of board games, discounted prices. Check them out at miniaturemarket.com.